You really have to look at what are some of the announced investments that are going to be made over the next few years. What's the timeline for making those significant investments, and what are the drivers for that? And if you look at the basis for some of those investments, it's pretty clear that they're making those decisions based on a belief of a long-term sustainable competitive environment. If we think about the examples of over $30 billion of announced investment in the U.S. from ethane crackers that are just simply being constructed to take advantage of the liquids and the wet gas from shale gas. The shale gas impact alone to manufacturing, we believe, can create 1 million jobs by 2025. That's just the supply chain impact of creating jobs through the investment in metals, chemicals, industrial manufacturing. That has to mean that there's an opportunity for us to explore in terms of additional investment, expansion of existing facilities, not just U.S. manufacturers, but potentially foreign inbound investment as well. That the opportunity to invest, to grow, to expand facilities also means the creation of new jobs, new products, research and development, and all the other things that come along with the supply chain. So if we think about the impact post-financial crisis, it's a social acceptance of manufacturing that's maybe changed or shifted over the last few decades. I think a few things are changing there. One, I think the economic realities and the need for job creation is certainly level setting some of that and recognizing that we can't be without manufacturing jobs in this country. It is the foundation. But secondly, I think there's a much greater awareness in today's corporate environment about the need to engage with stakeholders, to be more socially aware, to be better corporate citizens from an environmental and a social perspective. I think all those things come together, and it's a very, very different environment today than it was, 3, 4, decades ago. When we talk about globalization, I think we continue to move towards a more and more global environment, and I think that is going to be a trend that is not, going to subside anytime soon. What's interesting is how companies are beginning to adapt to that globalization. The availability and the ability to cost effectively move goods long distances is becoming more and more of a challenge. I think the other thing, when we talk about transportation and logistics, it's not just the cost of transport, but it's also the supply chain and the supply chain risks associated with where you're locating production. So now, a multi-regional supply chain strategy is becoming more common, thinking about diversifying that supply chain so that you don't have, a concentration of risk in any particular one place. One of the things that's a primary factor in the consideration for companies is not only access to markets, but how to access that market and protect their intellectual capital. And it's not always just about product capital and the intellectual capital that goes into a specific product. It's also the production processes. And those are much harder to protect once that idea has been taken and has been implemented somewhere else. We don't want to underestimate the intellectual capital that exists in the U.S. and the ability to have the research and development capabilities here, again, close to the customer, close to the market, where the skill sets and the talent exist. The technology age and the generation that expects almost instant gratification right now is making everything faster. So we're seeing a change in expectations from many customers across many industries. And so I think speed to market, the ability to deliver better, faster, cheaper. At the end of the day, companies are going to look to the end products and markets that they want to serve. So there's certainly a lot of visibility to the U.S. market, and there's a lot of opportunity for foreign inbound investment, and we're seeing examples of that. So we continue to believe that not only U.S. manufacturers will expand or decide to reshore or onshore here, we do believe that there will be a number of foreign inbound investments that will also create jobs and new manufacturing facilities in the U.S.